Hey guys, Comic Boom here to talk about Marvel in the middle of what appears to be a massive identity crisis for the Marvel Universe. I mean, they don't even know what they want to be. I mean, all the heroes are all confused. Hydra Captain America, is he good or bad? Is he going through a crisis of conscience? Is the good Steve Rogers just playing around in his head? The Punisher on the side of Hydra Cap? What's going on? Thor? Thor is working for Hydra Cap? What's going on? And the Falcon? What the heck is he doing? This poor Sam Wilson, he doesn't know which way is up. He doesn't like being called the Falcon. Sam Wilson doesn't want to be called Captain America. He's just moping around in depression. What's going on? And what's going on with the Black Widow? She's having sex with Hawkeye in a closet. Poor Hawkeye's so confused he leaves his fly undone and humiliates himself. I mean, all these are in the pages of these Marvel comic books. So much is happening. And nobody's liking Secret Empire? Come on, guys. This is good stuff. Probably one of the most interesting parts so far is that Captain America now is, he's really feeling like a god. Because not only is he wielding Mjolnir, he's using it to threaten Beast. Because the Beast is the ambassador for New Tian. New Tian is where the mutants were given their own city and their own land near southern or northern, I think it was northern California. So the mutants have their own place now, finally, their own home, but it's kind of like a gilded cage. They kind of got to do what they're told, and it's sort of controlled by Zorn, but it's really Emma Frost who's controlling it, and she has an uneasy alliance with Captain America, and unbeknownst to Captain America, she has a cosmic cube fragment. Captain America, Hydra Captain America, believes that, suspects that she has it, and he wants to make sure that she knows who's in charge, and so he kind of threatens Beast, and he makes sure Beast is towing the line, because he says that if Beast doesn't toe the line, that he's going to utilize Thor's hammer, since Hydra Cap is worthy to wield it, and if he has to, he'll destroy New Tian. It's a very express threat to the Beast, and not very subtle. And if there's any doubt that this Hydra Cap is a complete jerk, it was completely removed because the Beast made some remark to Captain America about the fact that, you know, you got to be careful when you wield that hammer like a god, to which the Hydra Cap replied that he doesn't need Thor's hammer to be a god. And so the arrogance and the narcissism of Hydra Steve Rogers is, I think it's starting to reach newer heights as Secret Empire progresses. Meanwhile, the Black Widow deliberately lets herself get captured by the forces of Viper. Now, Viper is a member of the Hydra Council. Now, why doesn't Viper turn Black Widow in? Really simple. Because Black Widow's, she's way ahead of the Viper, and she is threatening the Viper, saying, look, Viper, I know that you're selling drugs behind Hydra Captain America's back as a way to build your own empire and to eventually overthrow Hydra Captain America, to take over the Hydra Nation. And Viper doesn't want that to be found out, so Viper now is on the side of the Red Room, on the side of the rebels. And unbeknownst to the Hydra main operatives, the champions, who are members of the Red Room with Black Widow, her operatives, the young champions, are infiltrating a Hydra base to rescue what appears to be an old man. We're not sure who the old man is, but we're told that he's the secret to defeating Hydra Captain America. The best theory as to who the old man is that some theories say that it's actually Stan Lee. And that the Kobik created Stan Lee. It's probably not really Stan Lee, but whoever it is, it might be an older Bucky, it might be, I don't know who else it could be, but it's interesting anyway. There's all kinds of speculation out there. I'm not sure. I'm not enough of a Marvel zombie to know. Some people even speculate that it's the older Steve Rogers from Rick Remender's run before he was made young again by Kobik. Maybe this is an older Steve Rogers, and that is the actual real Steve Rogers who ultimately be restored. We don't know yet. Another interesting thing that's revealed is we once again get the dreams, what looks to be a sort of a dream sequence. We see the good Steve Rogers intermingling and having further adventures with two of his newfound friends, which it hasn't been revealed who they are. They're either Sam Wilson. It looks like to be another version of that Steve Rogers is with a newer version of Sam Wilson and Bucky, or it could be, arguably it could also be James Rhodes and Rick Jones, both of whom are dead. There are two theories which I think are the best theories in terms of who this other good Steve Rogers is that's walking around. One theory has it that he's actually that all of this is taking place in Hydra Captain America's head, and he's having a crisis of conscience. And that what Kobik did when he created Hydra Cap and when he rewrote Captain America's universe, that he actually split the consciousness of Steve Rogers into two, so that the person that's actually carrying out the physical adventures of Captain America is the Hydra Cap, the Hydra consciousness, sort of like his dark side, his Sith side, if you will, and the dream, the subconscious, the dreamlike state of Hydra Cap is where the good in him resides. It's his moral center, and that's where all this is playing out, and that would explain why you have potentially Rick Jones and Jim and Rhodey, two previously dead characters in the Marvel Universe. One killed by Thanos during Civil War II. That's James Rhodey, and Rick Jones, who was assassinated by order of Hydra Captain America in the first issue of Secret Empire. Eventually, the theory is, now this leads into another theory about how is it that Hydra Captain America is worthy enough to wield the hammer of Mjolnir. Well, let me see here. I am venturing a guess that the reason why, and this is my theory, and this theory was given to me was speculated to me by my good friend Spike. Spike Valentine, you can follow him on Twitter, you can follow him on YouTube. Spike believes, and I think he might be right on this, that his theory is that if you follow the theory that the good Cap Steve Rogers is the moral center, and is actually the consciousness, the deeper consciousness of Hydra Captain America, it might be that Mjolnir cannot distinguish, and Mjolnir knows that the true core, the true good of Captain America is still in Hydra Cap, and it's for that reason that Mjolnir sees the true Captain America within Hydra Cap, and that essentially perhaps Mjolnir is sort of tricked in that sense, because it looks beyond the outer shell and it looks to one's true self. And in that sense, it's possible that Mjolnir is actually tricked into believing that Hydra Cap is in fact worthy, because it's reading his inner consciousness as opposed to truly evaluating what Hydra Cap is actually doing. Now that might be a little off, but it could probably be better explained. And in any ways, it's interesting to speculate on that. And also, it's revealed why Odinson, I mean, he's so depressed. I mean, it's revealed why is Odinson helping Captain America? It's because Captain America has promised Odinson that if he fights for them, they will try to find a cure for Jane Foster's cancer. Those of you who have been reading The Mighty Thor, as I have, know that Jane Foster is, of course, the female Thor, and when she is in her mortal form, she undergoes chemotherapy for the treatment of cancer, which is slowly killing her. So every time she transforms back into Jane Foster, she's that much closer to death. And eventually, if something doesn't change, Jane Foster will die. And while that might please a lot of people out there who aren't a big fan of the SJW movement at Marvel, the simple fact remains is that guys like me, we actually kind of like Jane Foster as Thor. She's pretty kick-ass, and I love Odinson as well. But I kind of like to have both of them around for a while. In any event, Hydra Captain America somehow has convinced Odinson that he's got some ability to cure Jane Foster of her cancer. Odinson suspects that Hydra Cap is lying to him, but he can't quite put his finger on it, but he's holding up hope. And the other reason that Odinson is helping Captain America is that he made a comment that I think was very interesting. He stated that he's immortal, and he's seen different governments come and go, some good, some bad, and he generally doesn't judge. He doesn't feel it's his place to judge and to get involved in politics. A lot like us comic book readers from time to time, right? We don't want to get politics too much involved in our politics, despite the fact that there's a certain person who's the president of the United States and he's causing all sorts of chaos, and we got the regressive left trying to tell people how to write comic books and what we can or cannot read, right? By the way, stay strong, Howard Chaykin, huh? And by the way, quick note, guys, if you got some time out there, run to your local comic shop and pick up Divided States of Hysteria. It's a great comic book, sure to offend. And if you don't like it, that's okay. Buy a Hydra cap. In any event, so Thor has a lot of reasons why he wants Jane Foster to get better, and he's really hoping that this Hydra cap and things are going to turn out okay. But I don't think that's going to be the case, because if you look at the cover of Secret Empire number 6, it looks like Thor Odinson is ready to kick some ass. So I don't think that things are going to bode well for Captain America once Odinson gets his hammer back, and that's going to happen. The other major revelation here. So much happening in Secret Empire number 5. It's fantastic, guys. You got to pick this up. It ends up that David Banner is still alive. Can you believe it? So now think about this. We were always wondering exactly how much power Hydra Captain America played behind the scenes in Civil War II. Who was really stoking the fires of the dissension between Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and Iron Man in Civil War II over the whole Ulysses thing? Well, it was Captain America. And it ends up that David Banner is still alive. Now you might be wondering, how is David Banner still alive? Because Hawkeye specifically shot an arrow through his head. Specifically through his eye into his brain, killing him. Well, it ends up that David Banner is still alive. Now it wasn't revealed, but it is fair to say this. I'm quite certain that Captain America probably had something to do with whatever type of arrow that Hawkeye shot into David Banner. And I suspect that while it may have been a particular kind of arrow that for whatever reason didn't exactly kill him, and when it entered David Banner's brain, it didn't actually kill David Banner, but it put it more into a controllable catatonic state that Hydra Cap is now taken control of. Because one thing that's very clear, for those of you that are paying attention to Secret Empire, a pattern is emerging here that Hydra Captain America is putting together an Avengers team. He's used to his core Avengers team. He's used to Scarlet Witch. He's used to the Vision. He's used to the Thor. He's used to the Hulk. This Hydra Cap wants he wants the old team back together again. And he's done everything he can to make it happen. He's emotionally manipulating Thor. He has orchestrated the catatonic-like state of David Banner and the controllable way in which he will control David Banner and the Hulk through Civil War II. He's got another demon, Chitula, I'm going to mispronounce it. He had a demon possess the Scarlet Witch, so he's in control of her. He's in control through various computer-like means of the Vision. And in all the ways that really matter, he's also got he's also got Mockingbird. Mockingbird is the mole. Mockingbird is a traitor that is going to be betraying Tony Stark. And in so many key ways, Captain America has got a very powerful Avengers team, as he had even before he became Hydra Cap. This stuff is really good, people, and there's a lot of betrayals going on. If you're keeping score, things aren't going too well for the Rebels. Hydra Cap is more or less firmly in control, and things seem to be getting worse for Iron Man. And to make it even more catastrophic, at the end of the whole thing, Tony Stark reveals that he lied, that he didn't have a formula or a secret computer-like algorithm or system by which to track and locate the missing cosmic cube, cubic fragments, that in fact he was just extrapolating from the data provided by Rick Jones before he died. And unfortunately, the data's been used up. They've only got 2 fragments. Tony Stark was unsuccessful in convincing Black Panther to give him his fragment, because T'Challa, the Black Panther, the leader of Wakanda, has a cosmic cube, and he refuses to give it to Iron Man, and he also refuses to give it to Hydra Captain America, because let's face it, all the dissension that's been going on in all these Marvel big events, T'Challa, Black Panther's had enough of it. He doesn't trust Tony Stark, and he told him so. He said, "No, Tony, I got a better idea. You get the other pieces of the cosmic cube, you bring them to me, and you'll let me solve the problems. You don't know how to do it, Hydra Cap doesn't know how to do it, I'll do it. You guys are always fighting, you're always bickering, enough of this crap. If you gotta do something right, if you gotta do something good and right, you gotta do it yourself. I'm T'Challa, I'm the Black Panther, I'll handle it, get out of my kingdom." And so, that's the way it is. So Tony Stark goes back to his headquarters in the Nevada desert along with all the other champions in the Red Room, somewhat depressed. Unfortunately, Mockingbird is also part of the team, and she, of course, is in communication with Hydra Cap and says, "Come on down." And Hydra Cap does, and he attacks the base, and that's how the issue ends. And so he's incapacitated the base, but it still has its defenses, and the only way to get through those defenses is to release the Incredible Hulk. So issue 6 promises to be epic. And one hopes, I can only hope, that maybe Thor is going to betray Captain America in issue 6, and Hulk's going to be going nuts in favor of Hydra Cap, controlled by Hydra Cap, and we might have a Thor versus Hulk showdown in issue 6, I hope. Because if we don't, then it's Thor and Hulk taking on the Young Rebels. It's going to get even darker for the Young Rebel Red Room and for Black Widow in the group. Guys, Secret Empire's really rocking it. It's really building up. It's a little chaotic right now. There's lots of moving parts, but it's meant to feel chaotic because it is chaotic. The Marvel Universe right now is in a state of flux. Leaving aside the SJW controversies, the diversity controversies, if you just focus on the story and you try to just filter out everything else and all the bad press, there's a good story here to discover. We're only at issue 5. There's a lot more story to be told here. So stick with it, guys. Stick with me. And I'm going to see, at some point, I might even wear my Iron Man outfit or my Captain America. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, guys, say bye, Tony. He's out of batteries. Anyways, guys, Comic Boom, out.